Debbie.
Thank you.
Welcome, Debbie.
Welcome, Debbie.
This is one of my absolute favorite topics, even well before I got involved with essential oils. I was really very interested in teaching people about toxins. So we're in a new year. So who has over the internet seen anything about cleanses, detoxes, 5-day cleanses, 7-day, 30-day, juice cleanses? Who's seen all that? Okay, because that's what people are promoting. And so just the idea of cleansing and detox can just run a huge gamut. But what I want people to understand when they're thinking about a detox, if they're thinking about is why, what they're trying to accomplish, and then really trying to understand our systems. When I first started looking at the idea of detox as a nurse, I said our systems are designed to detox themselves. We have a liver, we have kidneys, we have the lymph system. Why do we need to cleanse and detox? We already got that. And the reason is because we are so inundated with chemicals, with different things in our food, in our skincare, in the air we breathe, that we're bombarded. So these systems that were designed to naturally cleanse, when we didn't have 80,000 plus chemicals in our society. If that is not mind-boggling to you, it should be. 80,000 chemicals, and many of them are untested. So that's why we need to start looking at what we're exposed to, because I look at it like a domino effect. You keep piling on the toxins, and eventually that domino stack is going to fall, and that's going to be in the form of what I call dis-ease. The body becomes uncomfortable and you get dis-ease. So what is a toxin? A toxin is any substance that could potentially harm the body. And so we need to look at that. Here's another little statistics that I find mind-boggling. They test newborn babies' cord blood, and they have found over 200 chemicals in that baby's cord blood. That is before this baby has taken its first breath. So we need to really start looking at, especially if we know anybody or we are of childbearing age, we need to start thinking about what these things are doing, and some of them. So I don't know with time, this usually is an hour-long talk that I can go into, but I've put in all the systems that and how they work, and so I'm just going to kind of give you a little bit of a primer. I have 7 systems here. I will add one more at the end that I think we need to start to think about detoxing from. The first one is the colon, and the colon is where our nutrients are absorbed. We also have elimination. But one of the things that we really need to understand about the colon above anything is that 70 to 85% of your immune system is in the colon. So if you're somebody who's getting sick, if you have a lot of colds and coughs, and you have other issues, even autoimmune issues, often looking at what's happening in the colon and the elimination is such an important factor. So I know it's breakfast, and so I won't go into complete detail here, but we are a society that does not eliminate properly. And it's something that we really need to look at. So improper, and if you've got something sitting in there for a long time, obviously it's going to ferment. The urinary tract, our kidneys. In traditional Chinese medicine, the life force is in the kidneys, in the qi. The qi is there. And so when I talk a lot about traditional Chinese medicine and Ayurvedic medicine, both that look at the balances in our body. So we need to start really thinking about water. the water we're drinking. We need to think about the quality of the water that we're drinking, and that's one I struggle with and battle with. I'm still trying to really find a way to get really pure water. You know, we drink water often out of plastic bottles, and the BPA that's in those bottles, we don't know how long they've been sitting, you don't know if they've been in heat. That starts to leach into the water. I think you all have noticed that when I come here or I go to any restaurant, I really try to think about asking for my water in a glass versus the plastic. Just again, the domino effect. It may not be making a huge effect, but over time, if I can start thinking about, now if I'm traveling, obviously, and I don't have any other source of water and I have a water bottle, I'm going to drink it. But it's, again, that accumulative effect. And then we need to start thinking about, if we are exposed to that, if we do drink out of plastic, how do we start to eliminate those out of our body? And there's lots of herbs, and I use a lot of oils that can actually help to start to pull these toxins out of the body. The liver. We are one liver toxic society. Many people are running around with what is known as fatty liver from all of the sugars and white flour and processed food that we are ingesting. So there are over 250 functions in the liver, and if we are taxing our liver, it's really hard. So one of the simplest, I'm starting a detox and starting a cleanse, and hoping to do a real deep 30-day cleanse. And what I'm drinking in here is a detox tea that you can get a lot of them. It's got dandelion root and got burdock root, and those are things. Milk thistle is another herb that can help to pull the toxins out of the body and support those systems that are already there but being overtaxed, so that just gives it a little bit of an extra help for that. The respiratory system. It is mind-boggling to me, again, how much asthma we have that is happening, adult onset asthma. And so one of the things that I tell people is, if you're exposing yourself to all of these Glade plugins, the air fresheners, the detergents that make your clothes smell for days and days, that's lovely, but it may be affecting your health, because these substances are making the scents hold on, they're artificial scents, and they are affecting our respiratory system. 2 minutes. Okay, the skin, one of our biggest organs, and of course, you know, what we put on our skin goes in our skin. When we have medications like a patch or something, that's going to be absorbed into your system. So again, the chemicals, one of the biggest ones that are out there is parabens. In all of our skincare products, we see parabens, and when they do breast tissue analysis, often they will find parabens that are in the breast tissue. So the lymph system is through the circulation. How many ladies here use antiperspirants?
Well, there's one that I use that it's baking soda, and it's free. You know which one I'm talking about? Arm & Hammer has one that is totally free, because I've had trouble with the ones that are free of things, then they don't really work very well. But this Arm & Hammer one, I forget what it's called, but that one is free.
Is it an antiperspirant?
No, I don't know.
Okay, that's the key.
Is that the key?
I use a deodorant. I make my own deodorants, but I do use a deodorant, and there are some good quality deodorants out there. The key is antiperspirant. You have a lymph system that is moving through your body, and it's moving toxins through your body, okay? And especially us women who have these lovely organs here that are bent for all kinds of things, but your lymph system is right here, and if you're stopping toxins, where are they going to go?
So it shouldn't say anti?
Shouldn't say antiperspirant. Should not be stopping that flow. I'm sorry, God made us very perfect. God made us perfect, and the reason that we have these lymph system that's going to go is because we want things to flow through. I forgot you.
So stay away, the bottom line is stay away from antiperspirants.
Antiperspirants, you don't want to block the flow of we don't want to run around smelling like moose. But you know, we do have to think about, again, the consequences of what we're doing in our body. And the last of these systems is the blood.
You still have your 10-minute question.
You still have
Okay.
10-minute question answer.
Great. Is the blood, which is, again, another constant flowing things. We are very acidic in this society. Things like we don't get enough greens, which are very balancing to our acid level. Coffee is very, very acidic. I've had a love-hate relationship with coffee for many years. I'm on again, I'm off again, I'm on again. Today I'm off again. So it's, you know, it's just, it's an addiction. I know that. I love coffee. I love the smell of coffee. I love the feel of coffee. But you also have to know that it is acidic. And so that not only affects your blood, it can help. I know a lot of people who come to me that have digestive issues. And, you know, you're taking that Prilosec, you're taking that whatever to block the acid that God gave us for a reason. Rather than blocking things, figure out why things are happening in your body. Why are you having this indigestion? And fix that. And I have had a lot of people who come off of coffee and do find it, you know, especially if you're doing it on an empty stomach. So if you're going to have the coffee, make sure you have something on your stomach first. And upgrade it to an organic coffee, because the oils, coffee oils, are going to hold on to any pesticides that are out there. So again, as you're making changes in your life, start thinking about upgrading things like coffee to an organic coffee. The benefits of cleansing. I said that I was going to give you the 8th system, and that's our minds. We get up in the morning, and this is one of the things that I just learned a lesson on by having a car accident. I really believe that this was my lesson of just being in that complete whirlwind without slowing down. I had lost touch with myself, with that form, with meditation, with not being on the computer first thing in the morning, with not always being on my phone, with not always first thing in the morning seeing the news, that negative feedback, going to bed at night, reading the news. That can be very toxic. So again, we don't want to live in a bubble and not know what's going on in the world, but you know, find out your news in the middle of the day, not when you first get up in the morning and not when you go to bed at night. So why do you need to cleanse? Again, to just help the body give it a break and help those systems that are constantly fighting those chemicals that we have. And that can take on any form. I am doing a class tomorrow evening, and I did not bring a handout, but I can send you the information, or I can tell you individually on a 30-day detox using essential oils and supplements. I will be repeating that class at the Starbucks Lake Boone Trail on Friday morning at 10 o'clock. So tomorrow at 7. And the address is 8601 Six Forks, Suite 201.
Where is that?
It's in the Forum Office building.
Got it. That's your husband's office?
Yeah, I'm gonna
That's
be in
Friday
today.
at,
The one at the Six Forks office, 8601 Six Forks, Suite 201, is tomorrow at 7. And then the one on Friday morning is at the Lake Boone Trail Starbucks. So if you get off on Lake Boone Trail Road, there's a Starbucks right there.
what time Friday morning?
That's at 10 a.m. And I'll be going a little bit more into using, you know, essential oils and products at that time as far as cleansing. But again, adding simple things on a daily basis, like a detox tea, dandelion root, burdock, lemon oil in your water, things like that are going to help. You can get into really deep cleansing with self-massage, dry brushing. If you want to really work with me one-on-one also, I'll sit down with you and we can formulate a plan to really get your systems detoxed. Enzymes are a really important thing to help break down our foods. Probiotics, we talked about that immune system being in your gut. Adding those things are going to help the system and it's overburdened as far as detox. And I wrote here, in the simplest form of a detox, just eliminating things like white flour, alcohol, wheat, dairy, sugar are going to help a lot with what we got going in our body. Does anybody have any questions?
Yes. Is there such a thing as a list of food items, as opposed to me trying to figure out what doesn't have those things in it? A list of food items that aren't dairy, don't have wheat, don't have all the things you just said.
So you have to learn to read labels. I mean, that's just one of the things in life that you have to learn to do. And again, when I work with people, I focus very much on bio-individuality. What works for you may not work for me. So you may do just fine with dairy. I don't, because I'm lactose intolerant. Or you know, the quality of the dairy is another big thing. As I work with people, I start to talk to them about upgrading their food, so that when you look at your dairy, is it grass-fed? You know, is it homogenized? You know, why do we homogenize our dairy? I have no clue. We pasteurize, okay, I can get that. We're worried about bacteria, but homogenization changes the structure of that dairy completely, and our bodies are not doing well with it. So there's a reason that we're having celiac disease. It's because we've overburdened ourselves with poor quality wheat that's there, and we've put it in everything in small quantities. So you know, it's kind of like this irritation, and then all of a sudden our body goes, okay, I don't know what to do with this anymore.
And sugar is
the same thing. Sugar is huge. It's in everything, and I have a list, if anybody wants it, of multiple names of sugar, because they come in all kinds of forms. And I'm going to have to say here, I don't think that the artificial sweeteners are any better, and I think they're worse. So that is certainly a toxin, and you find a lot of, you know, people will be on diets and their focus is weight loss. I want people's focus to be on health, not just on weight loss, and think about what it is you're putting in your body, because you can be skinny and sick.
That's right.
So,
you know, I started reading labels, obviously.
absolutely.
And I'm seeing a lot of high fructose corn syrup and put in things that it doesn't need to be there. They do that because it's addictive. It makes you want more. It makes you want to eat more, and it's all part of the scam.
Yeah.
You know, the sugar scam.
It's amazing. They actually have people who get paid very, very good money to figure out the exact taste level of salt, sugar, and fat that make us addictive.
Yeah.
It's the same thing with tobacco. You know, plain tobacco is probably not as addictive as the cigarettes that you buy, because they add 400 chemicals to tobacco. I used to teach smoking cessation, and they test that. They actually want to find out what level of these chemicals are going to make you addicted faster.
It's all profit.
So to really start, you know, looking at the what's that we have in our life, because you know our health depends on it, and I'm seeing a huge amount of autoimmune diseases because of the chemicals. I have a mouthful of amalgams. I'm trying to figure out how and when I can afford to get them out of my body, because we're reacting to them. And you know, we have to...
Is that stuff in your teeth?
Fillings.
Fillings.
The fillings. I'm reading more and more about it.
Have they gone to a new filling?
They have, but I've
But
got
the
these...
old ones you have to, yeah.
And I'm reading more and more and more about it. You know, unfortunately, you know, I have, and I believe I've had fibromyalgia, but I believe that I don't wake up in pain all the time anymore because I have done cleanses and detox and work with products that help with that. But, you know, if I ever find that I'm starting to get, I have a cousin who has MS, and it's the first thing I'm thinking about is go get those things out of your mouth. It's expensive, and you know, we can only do what we can do,
Right.
but start somewhere. Start thinking about, you know, what this is, you know, what am I drinking out of, those types of things.
Thank you.
Fantastic.